So we have came to the ending of part one. Now, just to give you a relapse on what happened in the beginning of part one, where I started off with a 16 by 20 canvas, and I began doing the background, which is the sky first. And the medium I was using was a acrylic. So I started with the sky first, and then came the trees, and then the foreground, which is the grass. At that point, I stopped, and the next segment, which is a continuation of part one, where I started putting in the people, my ancestors that was forced here. So this is where we was at, and this is where we are at now. While I'm putting in the people, the final detail, you will be hearing a bio of a lot of people that paved the way. So I'm going to give homage to all the ones that the leaders paved the way to get us to where we are at now. So that would be from slavery to the White House. So this is where we at now. And at the end, I will put on the back of the piece of the art will be a hanger string art, and where you can hang it on the wall or wherever you like to hang it at. But there will be series of this, is a collection. So we are right now, we at the end of part one, and then part two would be to the slave ship, the Mayflower. So stay tuned to part two, but watch everything I'm doing now, and I will get back to you with part two. So this is a great, great video, and I will be elaborating on exactly what I'm doing. So here you see, I'm continue on the split screen where you see me drawing the groundwork, the grass, and then you would start seeing me as you see me doing the defining or putting in the people that is being forced from our homeland, from Africa, by slave owners to America. So you're going to see they took away the babies, the ladies, the women, the men, the child, and put chain around my ancestors' neck and arms and legs, and along with wood around where they cannot escape. And they was dragging them through this, and they had shotguns and other materials where if we tried to escape, they would kill us. So this is what I'm doing now, and this is what you see me drawing. And while I'm doing this, you will be hearing, as I know you hear some of the background already of the biography of some of the people that have paid the way for us. So we're paying homage to them. So it's going to take a little minute before it's all completed, but enjoy what I'm doing and enjoy the process, because this is history and it's educational, because it's not being taught in the schools or the colleges about Black history, not through my eyesight, through an artist's eyesight, the way I see it. So this is great history, great learning experience, and this video will be on my website as well and my Facebook page. My website is, again, on blackartperspective.com, and Facebook would be Melvin African Culture Art. So you have both of these things that you can watch it, as well as on my show, which I have Artistic Talent Show on Brick Arts Medium channels every Monday and Wednesday, 1 a.m. in the morning, 11 a.m., and again at 4 p.m. on channel Cable Vision 68 and Verizon 5043. So there you have it, and I'm glad to express this to you and enjoy the show. Again, Black Art Perspective is a cultural heritage based, ancestor based art. So this is great. Enjoy the show while I'm doing the painting. Thank you for listening. And while doing this, let us pay homage to those that came before us, that paved the way, that led us to this journey from our homeland, from Africa to America. So let's listen to the voices that will describe all the ones that paved the way and revolt and led us to America from slavery to the White House.
From slavery to the White House, Nathaniel Nat Turner, 1800 to 1831, was an enslaved man who led a rebellion, insurrection of enslaved people on August 21, 1831. His action set off a massacre of up to 200 black people and a wave of oppressive legislation prohibiting the education, movement, and assembly of enslaved people. The rebellion also stiffened pro-slavery, anti-abolitionist convictions that persisted in that region until the American Civil War, 1861 to 65. Harriet Tubman escaped slavery to become a leading abolitionist. She led hundreds of enslaved people to freedom along the route of the Underground Railroad. Who was Harriet Tubman? Born into slavery in Maryland, Harriet Tubman escaped to freedom in the North in 1849 to become the most famous conductor on the Underground Railroad. Tubman risked her life to lead hundreds of family members and other slaves in the plantation system to freedom on this elaborate secret network of safe houses. Leading abolitionist before the American Civil War, Tubman also helped the Union Army during the war, working as a spy among other roles. Sojourner Truth, a former slave, became an outspoken advocate for abolition, temperance, and civil and women's rights in the 19th century. Her Civil War work earned her an invitation to meet President Abraham Lincoln in 1864. Mary Jane McLeod Bethune, the daughter of former slaves, Bethune became one of the most important black educators, civil and women's rights leaders and government officials of the 20th century. Booker T. Washington, 1856 to 1915, was born into slavery and rose to become a leading African American intellectual of the 19th centuries. Founding Tuskegee Normal and Industrial Institute, now Tuskegee University, in 1881, and the National Negro Business League 2 decades later. Frederick Douglass and abolitionist leader was born into slavery sometime around 1818 in Talbot County, Maryland. He became one of the most famous intellectuals of his time, advising presidents and lecturing to thousands on a range of causes, including women's rights and Irish home rule. Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican-born black nationalist and leader of the Pan-Africanism movement, which sought to unify and connect people of African descent worldwide. Malcolm X was a minister, human rights activist and prominent black nationalist leader who served as a spokesman for the Nation of Islam during the 1950s and 1960s. Due largely to his efforts, the Nation of Islam grew from a mere 400 members at the time he was released from prison in 1952 to 40,000 members by 1960. A naturally gifted orator, Malcolm X ordered black people to cast off the shackles of racism by any means necessary, including violence. The fiery civil rights leader broke with the Nation of Islam shortly before his assassination in 1965 at the Audubon Ballroom in Manhattan, where he was preparing to deliver a speech. Martin Luther King Jr. In 1957, he was elected president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, an organization formed to provide new leadership for the now burgeoning civil rights movement. The ideas for this organization he took from Christianity, its operational techniques from Gandhi. In the 11-year period between 1957 and 1968, King traveled over 6 million miles and spoke over 2,500 times, appearing wherever there was injustice, protest, and action. And meanwhile he wrote 5 books as well as numerous articles. In these years, he led a massive protest in Birmingham, Alabama, that caught the attention of the entire world, providing what he called the Coalition of Conscience, and inspiring his Letter from a Birmingham Jail, a manifesto of the Negro Revolution. He planned the drives in Alabama for the registration of Negroes as voters. He directed the peaceful march on Washington, D.C., of 250,000 people to whom he delivered his address, I'll Have a Dream. Barack Obama served as the 44th President of the United States. His story is the American story, values from the heartland, a middle-class upbringing in a strong family, hard work and education as the means of getting ahead, and the conviction that a life so blessed should be lived in service to others. When Barack Obama was elected president in 2008, he became the first African American to hold the office. The framers of the Constitution always hoped that our leadership would not be limited to Americans' health or family connections. Subject to the prejudices of their time, many of them owned slaves. Most would not have foreseen an African American president. Obama's father, Barack Sr., a Kenyan economist, met his mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, when both were students in Hawaii, where Barack was born on August 4, 1961. They later divorced, and Barack's mother married a man from Indonesia, where he spent his early childhood. Before 5th grade, he returned to Honolulu to live with his maternal grandparents and attend Punahou School.
So this is completion. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, all the things that I was doing as far as drawing, the background, the sky, the trees, the grass, and then the pigmentation of the people that would lead up to the completion of this whole art. And this is just from part 1 that is finished. The next step would be part 2. And part 2 will be coming on soon. So I hope you enjoyed. It's good Black history lesson, educational. and I'm glad to express myself through a artist perspective, through my eyesight. Again, my name is Melvin Isaac. I'm a professional artist and a community certified videography. And I'm very happy to share with you my artistic talent and my perspective on uh, Black history of how my ancestors was forced or brought to this country and where we're at now, from slavery to the White House. Thank you very much.